Hello, friends. Welcome to Nirmal Bang. I'm Piyush Jain, and today we are going to be discussing results. It has been a result season. A lot of results are coming. In fact, the numbers have been painting a good picture. We have been seeing tax collections, and now the profit growth. Corporate universe is definitely actually giving us a lot of reasons to smile. Today, one of the company, and I would say a brand which is well known across the country, Vigar Industries Limited, is on our show. Joining us on the show is management, Mr. V. Ramachandran, the Chief Operating Officer of the company. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, on the results, another set of good numbers. You have been very consistent over the last many quarters. If I look at the numbers, strong numbers, 19% almost on the net revenue growth versus the last year. If we talk about the margins, good expansion by 400 basis point plus, almost 420 basis point in the gross. EBITDA margin basically also has improved about 190 basis points. Profit has improved almost by 48% versus the last year. And I'm talking about consolidated numbers, including Sunflame. So all around, it has been very strong profitability, strong revenue growth, and also margins have been quite kind. So let's start from a revenue perspective, sir. What has been the reason on the revenue growth, and also make us understand the breakup between the volume growth and the price growth?
So I think the firstly, as far as the sources of growth are concerned, it's fundamentally and almost entirely volume growth. Yeah, I think price. See, the pricing transmission has fundamentally happened last year. Yeah, and through the current financial year, I think there is limited further pricing interventions from our side. So I would say that almost 85-90% is 90% is volume growth. Yeah, there is some mix improvement, but it's primarily volume growth what is driving the numbers. As far as the broad sources of growth are concerned, for the last quarter, I think the two categories have been stressed. Yeah, I think the remaining portfolio has contributed to delivering this growth. If you see the wire business, the household wire business, last year same period, we had high copper prices and increasing copper prices. That's resulted in the trade upstocking in the comparable quarter last year. There were at least multiple price increases which went through the quarter and including January of this financial last financial year. So with the result, when you look at the numbers for this quarter numbers are normalized, but the base period numbers had trade up stocking, and so and the sales had shifted into the base period. So I think that's where we have seen almost low single digit, very low single digit growth there, and that's a significant part of our portfolio. The other category where we were impacted was on water heater. I think the winter onset was slow and late. Yeah, and that's impacted the growth of the water heater segment. Yeah, so that's again been flat. So I think these are two categories which were stressed this year, in the quarter that went by. I think remaining portfolio has performed strongly, and that's how we've been able to achieve good growth.
Let me ask you on the water heater segment, and I'm asking about the larger segment. Water heater comes as a part of consumer durable segment. Consumer durable numbers, again, basically, if I look from a profitability perspective, last year it was in loss, sort of small loss, 4 crores loss. This time it has registered almost 11.5 crores sort of profit. And help us understand, sir, like what has turned around? What has been the factor contributing to that?
So I think while the electrical segment, right, see post COVID, there was a strong revival in demand, and the supply side, was not organized, with the result that we industry saw wide input cost increase, yeah, and aggressive input cost increase, right. While the pricing transmission has been smooth in the electrical segment, and relatively, to some degree in the electronic segment, yeah, barring the battery business, yeah. Consumer durable business, pricing transmission was challenged. Yeah. And the pricing transmission has been gradual in the consumer durable business, and whatever you are witnessing as a profit improvement is a consequence of the progressive uh, pricing transmission impact flowing through. To be frank, given that the water heater business was stressed in the quarter and it was flat, normally it would be at least growing at 12 to 18% typically. Yeah. I think you would have seen a much stronger revival in profitability if the growth in water heater had come through. I think the consumer durable business will continue to show improved bottom line performance as the margins gradually recover. We had issues, one part, we had issues in water heater growth, but the other part also through last year, because of slowness in the water heater business compared to plan. The high price inventory, both in fan and water heater, was taking time to flesh out of the system.
Okay.
So yeah, with the result, the margin recovery has been slower, and we are starting to see it more strongly in our results. You could see them in last quarter, right? And it will keep improving over the next couple of quarters. Yeah.
Sure. What is the optimized, normalized margin level for consumer durable segment, sir?
So the consumer durable business is a business where we are investing aggressively for growth. Yeah. And while the gross margins are good, yeah, you would find that the EBITDA margin would be lower because the um, investments are taking place in the business, right? So I think traditionally we used to
Are
operate
you,
at about 5 to 6.
no, no, please complete your answer first. Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Traditionally, we used to operate about 5 to 6%, EBITDA margin there. I think we certainly should see us getting back to this. As the old inventory is now almost out of the way. So next upcoming year, financial year, I think we should see normal margin coming back in water heater and fan, and that should restore the overall air cooler has also witnessed a margin recovery, and the kitchen business, see, last year kitchen business was also slow. Yeah.
Mhm.
Across all players, kitchen business has been slow, right? And mostly people have degrown, right? So with the result, the while the gross margins are good, the EBITDA margins have come under stress. I think these factors will be behind us as we get into the upcoming year, and I think some pricing transmission will be attempted, I am sure, by the industry in the upcoming financial year also, given that the full transmission has not happened, right? And with these factors, I think the profitability in consumer durables will come back, but it will lag the overall
Sure.
EBITDA of the company, because we are still in investment cycle across multiple
Noted.
segments of the consumer durable business.
Sure, sir. I will come back on the capacity and utilization, but one point around the electronic segment because it is standing out for you. Margin expansion almost happening by 130 basis points. Very strong revenue growth at far higher than the blended revenue growth, almost 30% versus the last year from a perspective of profitability. So both margin expansion and strong profitability growth here. Uh, what has driven this growth, sir?
So we have post demon and GST, in response to the Make in India thrust, right? We've been progressively making investments in expanding our manufacturing footprint, right, across our portfolio, and some of the impact of that you can see here. So our Pantnagar plant, was commercialized, last financial year. Yeah. And it had like 4 5 months of operation only, right? And which were like setup operations in that period. Yeah. I think the benefit of that, we are seeing full benefit of that, reflecting in our PNL, as far as because that plant makes both inverters and battery, sorry, both
Hmm.
inverters and stabilizer. Yeah, stabilizer. Yeah. So I think that's what you are witnessing. You might see more improved results there as our battery plant will go live. By, let us say, March of this year. So I
But
think with that,
that
the
will be
inverter.
commissioning. So the June quarter will be a commissioning process, right, sir? So maybe
Yeah.
from September quarter we'll see
Yeah,
more
yeah,
improvement.
yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. You're right. Yeah. So it will take 6 months, yeah, and sometimes it takes some time.
Mm,
One of the challenges for the broader VGuard portfolio also has been we have added to our manufacturing footprint, opening 4 5 plants, and a couple of, I mean, plants have also come to us through the acquisition route, and all of these are taking time to stabilize, and and for us to learn to operate it efficiently, right? So those
mm.
results will definitely come, and the investments are made. So as the business grows, right, you will start to see the sweating of the assets happening also. So I think that's really what is playing out, and that you will see very strongly in the consumer durable segment. Yeah.
Right.
You will see that to some degree even in the electrical segment. Yeah. Sorry, I meant the electronic segment and the electrical segment. Yeah.
Sure. One word on, sir. Where are we right now on the blended utilization level?
I don't have a number readily with
Approx.
me. I no, I think it is variable across categories, right? So
Sure.
I think utilization is good in the electronics segment. Will be upwards of 70%. Yeah. I think wire and cable maybe like 60 65%. Yeah. So there is a lot of headroom. I mean, there's a lot of headroom in utilization, right? Same is the
Sure.
case with water heater utilization is maybe about 70%. Fan will be about 50 55%. So I think there is a lot of headroom. But we have enough capacity to support our next 3 to 4 years growth, right? Probably,
Understood.
maybe, we are making further investment in fan as far as the uh, TPW fan is concerned. We've just completed, the what I would say, land leasing agreement, and we will be, moving forward with, construction of uh, building, and erection of plant and machinery. Yeah. So I think it's there, and maybe about 2 to 3 years down the line, maybe some of the consumer durable categories we may have to make further investment in capacity creation.
But
But
it looks like
yeah,
you're nicely positioned at least for the next 7 to 8 quarters because you
yeah.
still have a lot of room really to actually make more sales. One thing I wanted to ask you, sir, while I was going through the statements, and what I realized was the other expenses has been consistently increasing. Like last year, from there to now, almost increase of 60 crores versus last quarter also an increase. What is the driving factor behind the other expenses?
No, I think there are various factors, right? One thing is, if you look at it, as our manufacturing activity is going up, right? Uh, the supporting costs, and some of the costs connected with that are getting accounted here, right? Earlier, they used to be part of our material margin, right? Because we used to source from vendors. So theoretically, you will see that we got gross margins have come back. Actually, we are still lagging another 1.5 to 2%, in terms of recovering our gross margin, right? That's mainly because what is happening is some of what was sitting in the past period in gross margin is now reflecting below gross margin, and that's why we are pretty confident that in the upcoming 1 or 2 quarters, we'll continue to witness gross margin improvement, right? Till we get to a state, where we recover, the costs which are sitting currently in our P&L below gross margin, and also have some benefits of the investments that we have made on the supply side, which you are seeing in the electronic segment more strongly and clearly. Yeah. So I think that's really sitting there. Also, what is happening is the mix of our sales is changing. So if you went till about 2 to 2.5 years back, right? Our business from let's say e-commerce, and organized retail, and canteen stores and all that, right? The contribution of that was relatively limited. Okay, and the contribution of these businesses are going up. So that because we've been aggressively making investments there to make sure that our business portfolio is reflecting the channel mix which is visible in the marketplace. So as we do that, there are connected expenses to that, which are getting booked below. For example, you cannot operate in modern retail or regional specialty stores without sales promoters, yeah, because they
Yes.
typically don't have staff, yeah. So the sales promo so as we expand, we have to deploy promoters. The promoter expenses will sit here, and then you will start to see the expansion in the below in the other overheads. Yeah, so those kind of things are happening. Then there are some one-offs like the EPR, extended producer responsibility is there. Yeah, well, almost last quarter, we have booked about 0.5% of our revenue, for that, as we progressively provide for, so as EPR comes live, we have to provide for, see, we have already made sale over last so many years, right? So we have to provide for that because those products will come up for replacement in upcoming period, right? So there are some one-offs are there. Also, I think there are investments which are related. See, we did multiple acquisitions, Simon, Sunflame, right? We have been investing in Gigadyne, yeah. Related to them, there are transaction related costs, where legal costs, consulting costs, yeah. So those
Yes.
things are also there that are getting booked there.
And those must have been sort of elevated, sir, right? Because of Sunflame acquisition in the last 2 quarters.
Yeah, Sunflame, Simon. Yeah. See, the costs are almost similar regardless of the size, right? So if you go and I mean, if I'm saying the cost of a consulting intervention or the cost of legal fees, right? They are pretty similar regardless
Absolutely.
of the size and scale of the business. So that's sitting there. Yeah. There are also significant investments related to, I would say, transformation initiatives. Yeah. And sometimes for some categories we are having growth and margin improvement initiatives, right? Like we are working on inverter battery right now. So some of the costs which are related to that, the benefit of that will be seen in future period, but the investment towards that are sitting there. So most of it is operations related as manufacturing is growing,
Okay.
and as the channel mix of the business is growing, the costs related to that are sitting there. There are some one-offs and there are some strategic investments. So that's basically what is
I'm
sitting.
I'm only tempted to ask you this small add-on question. Does that imply that perhaps post March quarter, these costs will slightly moderate as we move into FY25?
No, I
Does that
think
make sense?
some yes and some no. Some yes and some no. So, for example, I think the costs of channels, the channel side, and the
That
related to
that will remain
manufacturing,
there.
that is
Yeah, that
variable.
will remain there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's variable. So that will grow in line with how the business changes. Yeah, uh,
No,
but
but
the mix will
the
keep growing.
acquisition-related cost, which would have percolated,
Huh,
might.
maybe maybe the transaction related costs will come down. Yeah, but I think the transformation costs may stay high for another 1 or 2 years, because there are a lot of transformation activity which is happening,
Hmm.
and those could stay high. But I think it will be at the long term growth. So if you look at our long term growth, it is around between 13 to 15%. Yeah. So
Okay.
we will stay there. I think we will operate at that range, 12 to 15%, right? Over
Sure.
a 3 to 3 year, another 2 to 3 years. After that, it will come down. Yeah, because we would be pretty much done with technology and digitization, related investment, and we would be pretty much done with capability journey. We've been on a capability development journey from 2014. Yeah, and we have been progressively making investments, and as the bandwidth in the company has been improving, the number of capability building initiatives are growing. Yeah, and
Sure.
that's why you are seeing this year on year, that is expanding, but they will all deliver significant future benefit for the business. And give you an example of our factory coming into place for inverter battery, and you're able to see the result of that, right? So
Point taken, sir. We move towards my last two questions, and one question basically is that you stated that you are looking at the start of the long-term debt repayment from the June quarter. If I look at your sort of net debt position, basically, what's the plan? How much sort of you'll start repaying? Are we expecting with a plan or with the aim of turning net cash again at the end of FY25?
So I think two things, right? So I think we might make a bullet payment, sometime, see when it is, when it is ready for us to be able to do that as per the terms of the agreement. I think probably quarter one, we are allowed to pay, yeah, because there is a period where you're not allowed to repay. Yeah, after that, you can. So because our the length of our repayment what we signed up was long from a conservative approach point of view, but obviously our cash position is better, and therefore we should be able to pay faster. So I think there will be one bullet payment which will happen next quarter, which will significantly bring down the debt burden because we have cash in the books. Yeah, we will have quarterly cash generation next year. Yeah.
That's how much, sir? That will be how much?
Uh,
Approx?
can be, maybe 40 crores, 35 to 45 crores a quarter may come. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think we should be done by quarter four of next year, which is like by March 2025. If we are able to maintain our growth trajectory, and we are able to maintain margin at current or improved levels, I think the cash flow should be adequate to pay down by end of March, right?
And
And
one follow-up question, sir. What is the sort of current cost of debt for you?
I think
Approx,
it's,
sir, approx, approx.
I think it may be, I don't know exactly, between 8.5 and 9.5. I'm not sure, what the
Oh,
actual
so
number is.
that's going to be a good savings actually. Then it will flow down to the bottom line, tax adjusted basis. I think a good
Yeah, yeah,
number.
yeah.
And last question, and we'll end with that. And perhaps our viewers will like to take note of the fact that how Sunflame has been for you, how much it has been integrated already, how it is performing at the ground level for you. If the entire integration obviously would not have happened, so till when actually do we expect full integration at the operational, sales, and the cost level?
Sure. I think we got into Sunflame towards the end of December last year. Sorry, the year before last. We went into Sunflame. We obviously have focused on operational controls and ability to declare and deliver financial results so that the integrated reporting is possible. Yeah. We've also focused on deploying SAP. The Sunflame, was not on SAP, so so I think those are behind us. Yeah, and we have started journey to work on IT systems integration. I mean, we have a very complex. We are a technology heavy company. We got, and we have what I would say, a roadmap for technology integration. With that, we will be able to bring all the capabilities of VGuard into Sunflame. Yeah, and that's why that's critical. Yeah, we have started a project for operational integration and growth strategy. Yeah, sales acceleration and the future operating model. Right. That's basically what we are addressing here. Besides growth strategy, this work is ongoing as we speak. Yeah. Uh, it started a bit late because we could put the new management team on ground only around April or May. Yeah. As far as the Sunflame performance is concerned, I think couple of things. I think last year, I would say till about September quarter, the industry has been witnessing degrowth. Yeah. Because of demand weakness immediately following the COVID, because COVID period mostly people are at home, and I think the kitchen categories were one of the biggest beneficiaries, in that period. So as they came out, I think that the spending has moved out of home. Yeah. So I think, but what we are witnessing from current quarter, the demand has come back. Yeah, the demand has come back, and we are seeing good growth, coming back in the retail segment, and whereas the modern trade and e-commerce, these segments, the operations are being transitioned into V-Guard because we have large teams focused on those areas. So those are, I think, as they streamline, I think that you will start to see even more stronger growth in Sunflame coming back. So growth is coming back in Sunflame from last quarter. Margin improvements have happened. Yeah, margin improvements have happened in Sunflame, and I think as the business fully normalizes post the integration of Sunflame and V-Guard, particularly in emerging channels. Yeah, I think we will see better benefit flowing through at EBITDA level. The gross margin improvements are fundamentally happening through improved sourcing benefits flowing through, packaging benefit flowing through, benefit in freight flowing through. So these are areas where we have started to see potential benefits, and that's,
Immediate
yeah,
benefit.
that's reflecting in our margin improvement. Yeah, so I think margin wise, Sunflame is now in good place. Yeah. Top line wise, I think it will take us another 1 or 2 quarters, right, as the integration of emerging channel is happening. Yeah.
Well, that's a good timeline. I think we extend all the best wishes to you for ongoing integration, and also good best wishes for the March quarter. Thanks a lot, sir, for coming on our show and giving us all the insights on the performance of the December quarter, which actually has proved itself again to be a very, very strong quarter for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
And dear viewers, hope you enjoyed this conversation. That was Mr. Ramachandran from V-Guard. V-Guard posted a very strong quarter. For now, it's a wrap on the show.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to never miss an update from Nirmal Bang.